Here pregame at Gov Fuller Field with head coach Scott Landers. Coach, last night a dominant win over Brewster, a comeback after falling to Orleans the night before. How did it feel to get that one?
It was good. It's always good to get wins going into the All-Star break. We kind of need to get going right now. That was a start. We got a big one tonight, and then two right after the All-Star break with Falmouth tonight and Wareham in the doubleheader on Monday.
Speaking of the All-Star break, 6 Braves All-Stars and 3 starters, Bender, Vastine, and Bodine. What makes those guys special, and how excited are you for them to showcase their talents tomorrow at White House Field?
I hope they play well for our sake. They've represented us very, very well throughout the season, and really they've been really consistent throughout the summer. That's the big thing. Bender's at 385, and Bodine's been up there, and Vasty's at like 321 or something. So they've been really consistent on the offensive end, and Vasty at shortstop's been a mainstay. So obviously I wish them well, and I can't wait for them to get out on the field tomorrow.
And as the reigning champion, you'll be leading the ship for the West tomorrow. What does that mean to you?
It's exciting. I did it last year out of default, really. But it's a good honor to do that. But just being with the guys and having fun and meeting all the other guys on the other team, I think it's a great experience.
You mentioned it, a big one here tonight. Last time against Falmouth, things didn't go your way. What do you think goes into getting the win here at Gov Fuller Field tonight?
Hopefully the umpires are on our side tonight. It wasn't so much the last time here, but I like playing here. I like playing against Jeff and his ball club, so hopefully it's a good fight and we come out on top.
We're entering the final stretch of the regular season, some implications here for seeding in the playoffs. Do you think about that at all, or is it just get there and get yourself a chance?
You always want to win the regular season. We had a really good run last year after the All-Star break where we only lost one game. So hopefully we can do the same thing this year, but it's kind of putting yourself in position to win it at the end, and hopefully we can put ourselves in the best position we can possible and match everything up so we have a good run at the title.
Awesome, thank you. Here at Gov Fuller Field for the last time this regular season to take on the Falmouth Commodores. I'm Allie Navarrete alongside Cam Manna and Matt Scalzo. Cam, let's talk about last night. A great performance from the Braves.
The offense finally came alive, and that's what we talked about. This offense had to get going because the pitching was there, and a great outing for Dalton Pence for him to bounce back. But the offense exploded, and it started early, and that's what Bourne has done well. They've played from ahead. We saw Kendall Diggs, we saw Bryce Elvin with 4 hits, and Derek Bender topped it all off. So when the offense plays like that, Bourne should only have the pitching. If they can even just put 5-6 runs on the board, not 10 on 16 hits, they'll be in a good spot to win baseball games.
Yeah, let's talk about pitching. A new face on the mound for the Bravos tonight, someone we haven't seen start before, Matt.
Yeah, it's Zach Grace out of Rowan University, a D3 school, but Rowan's historically has a really good program, and they made it to the Super Regionals this past season, and Grace was a big part of that. He was the top arm in their rotation, was an All-American, All-Conference honoree. He notched up over 100 strikeouts. It'll be interesting to see how he compares, making the jump from D3 to here, but we've seen in the past players coming from the D3 level can really find their groove here.
And Cam, you mentioned it already, offense. Talk about how important that is, especially considering the bats weren't really there the last time we took on Falmouth.
Yeah, and the guys that stay in the lineup, if you have Eblin, you have Bender, you get Diggs and Bodine involved, those guys in that 2 through 5 spot in the lineup, if they can get going and be the engine for Bourne early on and driving those runs, that's so important, and it gives confidence when those guys are in the lineup. We saw Bodine come into the lineup late yesterday, but guys also stepped in. We saw the double from Guzman to set up a big inning for the Braves, but when those guys are in the heart of the order, it's crucial for the Bravos.
Big implications for this game, too, as we're entering the final stretch of the regular season and looking ahead to playoffs. Falmouth and Bourne really competing for that 3-4 spot. Just 1 point separates them right now, Matt.
Yeah, you talked about it. Super close matchup between these two, Bourne and Falmouth. Just a half a game between these two, 1 point. But Bourne does have a game in hand. So if you look at Bourne potentially winning that game, then they jump 3 points ahead of Falmouth. But either way, these two teams, when they've gotten together, they've all been really close contests, except for the last meeting at Doran Park where Falmouth jumped out ahead and just really dominated the rest of the game. But all the meetings here, they've been really close, a little controversial too, but they've been close meetings, and I expect the same thing tonight. Whoever really wins this game sets themselves up really well heading into the All-Star break and towards the final push of the regular season. Bourne's starting to find its groove. Falmouth's slipping a little bit as of late, but a win can go a long way for both teams.
Last game before the All-Star break here at Gov Fuller Field. First pitch at 6.